As a new leader, you don't struggle because you're lacking skill. You struggle because you're playing a new game with an old roadbook. What made you successful as a doer can actually hold you back as a leader. Your greatest strengths can quietly become your biggest liabilities. Today, we're going to get through this huge shift that actually nobody explains when you're getting from doer to leader, and share 3 practical shifts that you can start applying today. Okay, let's make this clear. You struggle not because you're suddenly not doing your job. I mean, you got promoted for a reason. You're skilled, you deliver. The real problem is something deeper. And this is it. This is the heart of the problem. You're struggling because you're still required to optimize for output. Think about it. Everything that made you a star before, handling tickets, writing perfect specs, delivering features, it was all about tangible output you could deliver. Now you're playing a totally new game. This is the part that is kind of tough to hear. What made you so successful as a doer can actually hold you back as a leader. The thing that got you promotions and praise, it's not the main metric anymore. But now the script has completely flipped. Okay, so let's get to the 3 practical shifts that you can start working on today. Your value completely shifts from execution to reducing ambiguity. What does that even mean? It means you totally need to redefine what your job is. Your value, it's not about executing tasks anymore. Your new value comes from making things clear for everyone else so that they can execute brilliantly. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you have the doer's world. Tasks, specs, tickets. It's all stuff you can see and count. It feels good, right? Then you look at the leader's value. Direction, clarity, decisions. It's invisible, it's intangible, but isn't it a million times more impactful? Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. Early in my leadership days, we were completely obsessed with output. My team shipped in one quarter 10, just literally 10 big roadmap items. We were like rock stars, on paper at least. But then the reality check. 3 months later, half of that stuff had to be completely reworked. The other half, barely anyone was even using it. All that productivity, all that output, it added up to almost nothing. So what went wrong? It's simple. We hadn't aligned on the core problem. We were so caught up on what we are building and how fast we can ship it that we totally lost sight of the why. And that was on me. As a leader, I had failed on my real job, which was to make it crystal clear on the problems we were trying to solve. If your team is struggling with cost or reworks, you need to see that video that explains why speed without clarity is the reason why you are reworking everything. Okay, let's go to the second big shift. That is moving from control to trust. Listen, this one is less about tactics and more about feelings. Letting go, it feels like you're losing control. It can be super uncomfortable. And I bet this thought sounds familiar, right? If I don't check it, it might go wrong. That is the voice of your inner doing talking. It's your anxiety whispering in your ear that you have to be in the wheel to make sure things are get done right. But here is the truth you have to internalize. That desire for control, it feels productive. But it's definitely just an illusion that definitely doesn't scale. Real leadership, the kind that builds a great team, requires trust. And I'm so passionate about this one because I was so guilty of this. My old habit was to review every single spec before I go to engineering and every single delivery before we roll out. I told myself I was the quality gate. But what was I really doing? I was being a bottleneck. I was slowing everything down. And the worst is that I was sending a clear message to my team. I don't trust you to do this without me. But the focus has to change. You need to shift from did you do it right to is the problem we are solving clearly framed. Stop micromanaging the solution. Your job now is to define the playground, not to tell everyone how to use the swings. If you want to know more about how I realized I was the bottleneck in my own team and what did I do about it, you can click here. And now, the final shift. You are now accountable for focus. This means you are judged by the direction you set, not the effort you are putting in. Your performance is not about how hard you work anymore. It's about the quality of choices you are making for the team. I will never forget this. I went into an executive review ready to brag about how many tickets we closed, how many deliveries we made. And you know what? No one asked this. Not one person. Instead, they asked, why did you choose to build this instead of that? It was a total lightning bolt moment for me. They didn't care about my team's output, they cared about my strategic thinking. And this really boils it down. Doers improve the execution, leaders improve the direction. One is about building the thing right, the other is about building the right thing. Isn't it a massive difference? So, what is a leader's job then? Part of it is deciding what not to do. You become a filter for your team. You're protecting their most precious resource, their focus. So you decide what gets attention, what matters more, and well, what just needs to be ignored for now. So let's get really practical here. It's these three big shifts. One, you move from owning output to owning direction. Two, you shift from focusing on your own contribution to creating clarity for the whole system. And three, you go from feeling like you have to be needed in every conversation to making sure you're just being clear. So, for that first shift, here's the question you need to think of. What deserves our attention? Not what can we do, but what deserves our focus. That one word change forces you to prioritize impact over just being busy. For the second shift, the question is, how do I define the problem clearly that everyone could understand it? Your job isn't to have all the answers. It's to frame the problem so well that your team comes up with even better answers that you could possibly think of. And finally, for the third shift, ask yourself this. If I disappeared for 2 weeks, is the direction still obvious? If the answer is yes, you are winning. It means you build a system that runs on clarity, not on you. So look, if you take away one thing, let it be this. The shift from doer to leader is not about doing more work. It's about making better decisions. Stop trying to be the hardest worker on your team. That's not your job anymore. So I just leave you with one question to think about. If you just step back from your team tomorrow, is the direction still obvious? The answer to that question will tell you exactly where you are in that journey. If you're navigating transition from doer to leader and you want some insights and support on this journey, subscribe to my channel and learn how you can approach this calmly and strategically. Thank you for listening to me today. I'm Stella Raki from Calm Product Leader and see you next time. Bye.